Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from beautiful Liquid Laughs in downtown Boise, it's time for Boise Banter! With tonight's guest, HomeGrown Theatre, and Seattle's own comedian Emmett Montgomery. Featuring the music of Rich Guilfoyle and Dustin Shalafo. Now please give it up to the hostess with the mostest, the Duchess who can't be touches, Miss Sophie Hughes!
Welcome to Boise Banter's Halloween special. I'm so excited you all came down tonight. We have some wonderful surprises. We have some amazing guests. First, though, we have to start the show like we always do and talk about what's in the news. So, AOL, America Online, or Oath, or Verizon, or whatever they're calling themselves these days, has recently announced that they are permanently shutting down AOL Online Instant Messenger. Which is a real shame because there goes my 2004 sex life. So, it's a real bummer. O.J. Simpson is in the news again. O.J. Simpson, you're not gonna believe this. O.J. Simpson recently won a costume contest, Seattle's international costume contest. He got first place for the best depiction of a murderer. All he did was show up. Fortunately, this time he got a trophy that he won't have to steal back. So. Speaking of monsters, Harvey Weinstein is in the news. That's right. Harvey Weinstein in the news for being a sexual predator and taking advantage of people. Finally, though, he has answered the age-old question, who do I gotta fuck in this town for a gig? Lastly, state and local police are advising parents about candy that is laced with marijuana being handed out to trick-or-treaters. The police say symptoms of this candy could include dry mouth, an increased appetite, and a decreased understanding of time. The police are saying any parents who find this candy should confiscate it immediately and watch the second season of Stranger Things. That's all for In the News. Let's get the show started. Oh, seamless transition to the desk, Sophie. I'm so excited to be here today. Audrey 2, our normal plant, couldn't make it. I'd like you all to meet Audrey 3.
Audrey 4.
Audrey 4, okay. Oh, and we're giving her the night off. She's in the audience over there.
The other bitch was a bitch.
There's a couple of things we're going to do tonight, but before I get started with a costume contest and all the guests, I need to bring on somebody very important, very wonderful. Ladies and gentlemen, my co-host, the amazing Dustin Shalafo.
H-A-L-L-O-W-E-N spells banter. Stirring in my witch's brew, I got banter, a bing, a bang, a boing.
Yeah!
It's a banter party, who could ask for more? Chris Sundberg is a plant, we didn't charge at the door. I'm a pug dog.
I'm so sorry.
I'm a pug dog.
He's a pug dog, damn it.
I'm not a polar bear. I'm not a sheep. I'm not whatever else.
Rabbit.
I'm not a rabbit.
Like 3 different animals.
Rabbits are not to be trusted. Ew, I hop around and I'm always late.
I feel like anybody that knows you would know you're a pug dog.
Yeah, check it out.
Can we see the tail? Oh, yeah. Oh, that's so good. That is amazing.
Please do not pee on me.
Oh.
I need some kibbles.
Such a sad pug dog.
I need some Purina. Special blend, I have colic.
And I'm, of course, the Duchess, who cannot be touches.
No.
Which is very safe,
You can't get
but
closer.
a lonely life. Gosh, do you want to do the costume contest, or do you want to talk about Halloween for a minute, Dustin?
Let's get spooky.
Yeah, let's get
nuts.
spooky.
Let's throw candy at people.
Oh my God, are we?
A little sweet treat for y'all. Happy Halloween.
Yeah.
Didn't even have to knock on a door.
You could
It's
expect
just
more. There's
candy?
a lot.
Boom!
Really-
Candy! Candy for all.
Underhanded.
Indulge in a chocolatey treat wrapped in a skeleton.
Oh. Yeah, get this one. That's a good one. That was pretty good. That was a pretty good cat.
Now, since I threw all that candy,
Uh-huh.
I'll be able to come in on Wednesday and see if the floor guy's actually been doing his job.
That's a great test.
So that's a two-prong attack.
Yeah,
I'm
we're gonna
giving
find
the
out.
beautiful audience sweet treats,
Uh-huh.
and I'm making sure Alex is up to snuff.
Yeah. Good thinking.
Yeah.
do
Pug
we
dogs
have-
are smart.
Do we have anybody in the audience who wore a costume? We got one. Let's get him up there. We got one for the costume contest. Come on up.
Who's
Yeah.
this guy?
Oh, I don't know. It's taking the long way. It's Jake Myers.
Jake Myers,
Come on,
best
buddy.
friend,
Let
2016.
the camera get you. Okay, will you sit in a second?
You
Let
weren't
the camera-
invited on the couch.
Wait, hold on. You're mankind.
Mick Foley.
Yeah. Okay.
He'd have to have the mask on and the white shirt
All right,
with the
so
tie.
right now you're just
No,
Mick
no,
Foley.
I'm just Mick Foley.
Yeah.
Okay. Wait, can we get a good shot of the hand?
Mr. Sacco! Good God, King, he's got that mandible claw on with Mr. Sacco! JR, Jim Ross? Anybody?
Well, as the only participant of the costume contest, which is no one else's fault except for me. I think I promoted it once. I think I said it as an aside. I was like, "This is going to be such a great show." P.S. costume.
We just assumed people would know.
You know what?
And that was wrong of us.
Yeah, you're right. But you know what? Congratulations, Jake Myers. You win the gift certificate to Solid. And hold on.
Yay!
Not just that. Not just that.
A little something,
There you go.
little something sweet for Mrs. Foley's baby
Yeah.
boy.
And you know what? Take a seat on the couch just to say you did. Look at that. Oh. That's fantastic.
I love Halloween.
I do too. Yeah, he's just gonna hang out for the banter portion. How about that?
Yeah, it's fine. I won't acknowledge him.
Yeah, me neither. I'm done talking to him.
You know,
That's over.
he can hang out with Audrey 4. They can do whatever they're doing.
Yep.
Put the.
Yeah, what's up?
Could I get a martini?
This plant needs water. Stats. Give it up for Lathan, the bartender back there. Tonight he's going as the most handsome employee at Liquid, which is easy because he's the most handsome employee
Really
at Liquid.
good costume. Oh, I don't know, Dustin. What do you think about Halloween?
I think it's the best.
Yeah,
It was
always
bigger
my
than
favorite.
Christmas, Flag Day, all of them at my house. It was top of the
Flag Day
pops.
close second in the old Chalifo household.
My mom loves fabric. She loves it. She's like, ooh, the Jamaican flag's made out of hemp.
I grew up, both my parents are theater people, so Halloween was a big deal for us. Costumes fun. I love
Yeah.
it. It's always been my favorite holiday. I gotta say though, like, since I've started transitioning, Halloween has become not as much fun for me. Because, like, you know, anytime around Halloween, I'm just going to work and people are like, great costume. And I'm like, I know. It's the worst. So you gotta pick something weird. I went as a mermaid once. That was like 2 years ago, and someone was like, "Why wouldn't you go as a mermaid?" It's just all kinds of confusion, and it's bullshit.
You know what you should do next
Take it
time
back.
that happens?
What?
You should punch him in the face and go, oh, I'm sorry, I thought you were going as someone who wanted to get punched in the face. You miserable piece of shit, scumbag human being. I hope you get poison in your candy.
So much anger that I am.
Well, I mean, don't do the last part, just punch him.
Okay. All right. Sure. Because I'm gonna have to run after that. I'm good for one punch, and I think that's all the fighting I can do. What about you, Dustin? Got any childhood stories of Halloween? Any cute little costumes? Any Chalifo Power
Dude, my
Rangers?
dad would go all out.
Like, he would make our costumes. One year I was a robot. He made me a robot costume out of cardboard, painted it silver. Painted my sneakers silver. Had like some tubing and some ductwork. Dope. One year I was a Batman, not Batman. A man bat. Bat boy, but not like baseball. Like a boy who is a bat.
Bat boy from the National Enquirer.
Like a bat flew up inside my mom, dropped some guapo, hung out on a stalagmite, flew out, boom. Bat boy. But he made this shirt with like these cool wings on it, and every year, probably from like 2nd grade till, I don't know, 9th grade, when the shirt stopped fitting due to puberty.
Wait, you wore this for how many years?
I don't know, like a decade.
Really like
Just
to be a
walk
Bat
around,
boy.
like the 2 weeks leading up to Halloween. I'd be like, I'm wearing my fucking Bat Boy shirt. I got wings. You can't get me, bully. I'm gonna fly away to my cave. They always got me. They always got me. Those wings did not work. The best was one year, my dad went all out and he did, the classic front yards like a cemetery. Dry ice, the whole kit and caboodle. But he dressed himself up like a scarecrow and he sat on the porch and kids kept coming up talking all this shit like that's fake. But then he scared the shit out of all of those dumbass little kids. Because they'd be like, this is fake. There's a person in there. And then they'd feel it. And they'd feel the layer of hay that he put in. And they'd become convinced that it was, in fact, a dummy. And that's when my dad would grab them and they'd run away. Let me tell you, we had a lot of leftover candy that year. I did not have to go trick-or-treating.
It's a good system.
Snot-nosed little punks. Sorry, this costume's making me hot.
Yeah.
The leather jacket was a bad choice.
I feel like when we first started talking about Halloween, you were so happy and excited, and then it ended with snot-nosed little punks. Let's not talk about it anymore. You're going way downhill with your spirit.
Oh, I just look sad because I have
That's
resting
true.
pug face. Look at...
All right, well, let's get our first guest on. Let's get one more time for our costume contest winner. Jake Myers, everybody, the nicest guy in the universe. All right, well, let's bring our first guest up tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very excited to bring these folks up to the stage. HomeGrown Theatre, everybody. Bring them on up.
Small little couch you have here. I thought we'd have a little more room, a little more accommodation.
I'm just glad we had 4 minutes of warm-up to introduce this.
Everybody to wash your hands.
Well, I've known you guys for years. I'm really glad you all came on the show today.
Thanks for having us, Sophie.
Yeah, absolutely. What we brought you on the show to talk about is the horrific puppet affair,
Yeah,
which you guys do every year, and you do
We do.
short plays with puppets that are very frightening and interesting and beautiful. And I'm really excited. When is that happening this year?
So the format's a little different this year. Each year we try to mix it up a little bit, what the production really is. This year it's a holiday special. So a very horrific holiday special will be happening December time.
December 8th is when it opened. No.
Yeah, no, that's right.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's right. Through the 23rd.
Yeah.
Oh, good. I'm glad we cleared that up.
Yeah.
We prepared for this. We were really ready to promote the horrific.
Yeah, and then I'll be at a Woodland Empire.
That's the brewery in downtown.
Yeah.
Yeah,
On Front
good
Street.
beer, really good
Really good beer. They just brought back the Bat Lightning IPA, black IPA, and it's delicious.
We like to come to one bar to talk about another. It really ups the attendance.
Well, Chad, Jamie, do me a favor. Would you introduce me to your friend?
This year is our host, the host of the Horrific Puppet Affair. His name is Hermuta Din.
Say hi, Hermuta Din.
I'm working on it. It's just you can't necessarily see that I'm working up the gumption. But yes, sometimes I have a little bit of backstory. I, of course, bring the Horrific Puppet Affair to the city of Boise in order to get the souls to turn into my human form, who so generously is hiding his face behind me. You don't get to see him tonight.
And you just gave away your whole plan right now.
Oh, I give it away every year. It's a whole monologue. It's fun.
Okay.
It is amazing. Hermuta is everyone's favorite, really. But every year he tells the audience that he's there to.
Here's my plan, eat your
like,
souls.
I'm going to eat your souls, and
Who would have thought in 2017 that someone in a position of power can just say negative things and people will enjoy it?
It's a real head scratcher.
I know, it's not topical at all. Let's keep moving.
Okay, sure. In general, though, I would also like to talk a little bit about HomeGrown. I've done a few plays with you guys, and they've been absolutely so much fun. You have some kind of a website or place where people can go and donate and see what you guys are up to.
Dang, yeah. We have a Facebook, good old Facebook. We also have a Patreon, which you can donate to. Patreon is a lot like a Kickstarter, or what are some of those?
Yeah, it's like a crowdfunding resource.
But so anyways, instead of like dumping like $100 on a Kickstarter, instead you can say like, I want to donate $10 a month to HomeGrown Theatre. So you can set up a little account on Patreon and give us $10 a month, which we...
Yeah, that's fantastic.
We also have pockets and hands.
Yeah, pockets and hands do work, yeah.
Right, so we can just give cash directly?
Oh yeah.
I just really love what you guys do. You do a lot of original work and giving actors, it's like it's really hard for a young actor in Boise to get an opportunity. There's a few theaters, but they have a regular stable of actors, and it's tough to get something to do. And you guys have just really brought a lot of cool and interesting things in there.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I'm just, I'm not saying just so that I get cast. I'm not saying that. Just legitimately like you.
Well, honestly, that's why we started the company, because we were those young actors who did not have jobs. If you want to talk a little more about that.
I mean,
Do we still have jobs?
as a fresh out of undergrad artist, you might get 3-4 months of professional work in a year, and that's nice, but it becomes limiting. So we want to create a home for artists to continue to work and continue to develop and be in rehearsal and experiment and make weird plays. We don't want to just do 1 or 2 productions a year. We want to be doing 6.
Right, absolutely. Also, you guys run Blip. Which Blip is, they do several, how many times a year do you do that?
It's like, so we call it a monthly reading series. In actuality, it's like 9 times. But you don't want to say like
Christmas and Halloween and such.
Yeah,
and so
yeah.
you take some off. So eventually it whittles down.
The
to
last
about
Tuesday of each month rolls off the tongue easier than like the last Tuesdays of some months. Or,
And then they have actors that come in and they're prepped to do all the roles of a show, and they read them out, and you get to see a show for the first time ever kind of coming together. And then you choose what plays you do with HomeGrown through that.
A lot of times, a lot of our original productions do come out of Blip. The original productions, the ones that our playwrights are writing. But a lot of times we choose plays that are, young playwrights from around the country, kind of recent, like off Broadway plays. We'll do.
Yeah.
That's kind of how our selection works.
That's fantastic. After the horrific puppet affair, what's next for HomeGrown Theatre?
Well.
I don't even have to make a joke there.
We can maybe talk. Maybe can't announce specifics.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
This is like top secret.
So we have been, we are HomeGrown Theatre, but we have always been homeless.
We've been thematic, and necessarily we don't know where our next production is going to be staged.
Sure.
And we always love that. We get to produce plays in really cool places that really like lend their environment to the shows that we're producing.
Sometimes they yell at us.
Yeah. That time you're actually correct. 100%. But so it's frustrating though. Like we just have a hard time keeping a space, and
becomes
we
very-
have ideas for productions or plays, but we just can't find a place to do them. So we have to cancel or move on or whatever.
So a new, I don't know if we probably can't say where, but a new theater black box in town has selected HomeGrown to be their inaugural resident theater company for the first year.
That's
So
amazing.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
we'll have 4 productions coming in 2018. So
This is more lawyer talk than CNN. We back up the biggest slots.
Well, I'm really, really glad for you guys. That's great.
Thanks,
You've
thank
been
you.
leading that for a while, and that's
Yeah.
really exciting.
Yeah.
So one more time, the Horrific Puppet Affair. How can people get tickets ahead of time? Can they get online and get it through brown paper tickets?
yeah, exactly. brownpapertickets.com / I don't know what the backslash is. You just search that.
We'll put a link right now.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Did you do that?
YouTube's gonna see that. No one else is gonna see that. That's just for the benefit of the internet. I'm sorry, everyone else in the audience. I apologize with candy.
But like, I'll take some candy.
Oh yeah, most certainly.
But could you please just curl my hand around the candy?
Yes, I think I can do that.
So just wrap it around there. Yep. Give it a little tug. Yep. That.
Good.
I can just
There you
a
go.
little finger. That'll work. I'll eat it later. Yep.
I think you could probably actually take it.
Ooh.
It's good to be the demon, huh?
I'll catch it. Oh.
Well, absolutely. Everybody make sure to go and check it out, The Horrific Puppet Affair. I've seen it 3 times, I think. Yeah, I've been there 3 times, and it's always fun. It's always awesome. It's always visually very satisfying and great stories. So
Thanks.
I
Thank
think
you
it's
so
just
much.
phenomenal. You guys put so much work into that. And I just think it's great. So we'll have a link attached, and everyone can check it out.
You're the best,
Thank you all
Sophie.
so
Thank
much
you.
for coming on the show.
yeah, thank you,
I
Sophie.
really, truly
Candy
appreciate
shake.
it.
Here, yeah.
Okay, we just high five. That's fair. All right, thank you guys. One more time for HomeGrown Theatre, everybody. Let them hear it. Thank you so much for coming tonight.
Yeah.
Good job.
Come here, boy. Come on. Come here, boy. Oh. Come on. There you go. There you go. I'm so sorry. There you go. That'll be good for your fillings. On that tinfoil.
I've never had a cavity. I don't appreciate the assumption that I have poor dental hygiene.
Wait, stop the show. Is that true?
35 years old, no cavities, go fuck yourself. I'm just kidding. Thank you so much for being here. This was a bad idea, Lan. I didn't get to see the puppets because I had to.
But you really committed to the bit of the sleeping puppy.
I would be honest.
At one point, I was like, he's twitching his leg like he's dog dreaming.
Thank you for getting that.
Yeah, I saw
That
it.
really hurt my shoulder.
You know what? You leaned into it, and I think it's really great.
Were the puppets cool?
Oh yeah, yeah, they're awesome.
I guess I'll just have to subscribe to the Boise Banter YouTube channel for this latest episode to see the puppets. That's Boise Banter on YouTube. Like, share, and subscribe.
I know that was an opportunity for a plug, but for a second I thought you really hadn't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, and I was pissed.
I don't think I have.
So mad.
Why would I subscribe to something I'm doing?
Because it adds to our numbers. I think I made like 6 new email accounts and was like, yeah.
Jesus Christ, beginning of the show.
Oh, wait, can we, he fell down, but can we get...
Oh, he's been falling down for a while now.
Can we get a Jesus Christ for Brian Scalaro, everybody? 1, 2, 3.
Jesus Christ!
Oh, mwah.
And you know what? Go seek out Brian Scalaro on the internet,
Yeah,
and then
want to see the world's saddest man.
give him a hug with a like. He needs it.
Yep. Well, let's get our next guest up here, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this.
Ooh, yeah.
All the way
Ooh,
from
yeah.
Seattle. He's a very, very talented comedian and really a wonderful person. Ladies and gentlemen, Emmett Montgomery.
So talented.
Where's the spot? Where's the spot? Oh. Thanks for being here with us, Emmett.
It's a delight to be here.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Emmett has been here at the Comedy Club all week. He was featuring, and it was just the perfect timing to have him hang out for an extra day and do the show.
I love Boise. It is not hard to get me to come out of here. A few years ago, I had that opportunity to open for Bent Washburn, who will be here in a few weeks, and I think is one of the greatest joke writers that should be famous.
Yes, I agree with
And he was one of the first guys that I featured for, and so when he asked if I wanted to come out, I was like, of course. And then I was here for Tree Fort.
Yeah, that's
and
where I
that
first met you.
was super great. And this is a cool city.
Yeah.
I mean, I have such a good time here. I'm just waiting for you guys to sacrifice me to your god. Like, I feel like I'm the harvest princess or something. Like, king for a day.
It's coming real soon.
Yeah, no, I mean, I enjoy the good food and the kind people, but I hear the tentacles slithering underneath this city. Like,
The blood of comedians is the most delicious.
Our very terrifying druid. Are you? I think we talked about this week. You're coming back for Tree Fort again. Did that just get?
I don't. Would yeah, I guess I can go. Yeah, I was invited back, and I will probably be back. So
Good.
there we go. I think it is super cool. A citywide festival, and this is a fun place to tell jokes in.
Yeah,
so.
absolutely. What'd you think this week? Let's talk about your week here. How'd you enjoy yourself?
John Roy, who's been doing jokes for 20 years, and it's so fantastic. I've been doing it for 13, and so I'm pretty good. I'm kind
I
of
agree with you.
hilarious,
Yeah, absolutely.
and it was nice to be afraid because you have this guy following you who is just so good, and I don't know. I'm kind of a slow, weird dude as far as my set,
You're
It's
a
little-
goddamn poet, Mr.
it's a
Montgomery.
little- I mean,
You're beautiful.
I have a 20-minute joke about meatloaf,
It
right?
changed how I view comedy.
Well,
20 minutes is absolutely worth it.
half of it's a functional recipe, but it's. But when you're up with a guy like, you're working with a guy like John Roy who has a joke, like you're just laughing uncontrollably every 15 seconds. You feel like a swordsman at a gunfighters convention, and it was nice you're great to work with. Dustin's great to work with. It was real great. And, I always worry because my act is kind of soft. It is, I talk about how much I love my wife, how my beautiful daughter, who's well, she's an 11-year-old elderly chihuahua. She's a chihuahua. She's just 6 pounds, a 6-pound bag of shaking is what she is, and she is so sweet, and she's just, I miss her. I've been like hugging a pillow, and the other day I was at the comedy condo and I dropped some food and I knew no animal is going to eat this, and my life I built a wife out of pillows that embrace. I'm still sleeping just on my corner of the bed. There's a whole fucking bed.
Yeah.
The first 2 nights, I'm like, oh, this is great. I get the bed to myself. But then I felt like I was cheating, like space. You know, like I don't deserve this. And so I'm ready to leave this town. I mean, but you all seem very, very nice and wonderful. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's, I'm, kind of a cats and dogs, hopes and dreams, wife, comedian,
That's what I love about you.
Yeah.
So many comics are...
I mean, I talk about death a lot, too,
Yeah.
but that's, it's gonna happen.
The cats are the dreams, the dogs are the hopes.
That's what we got.
That's what our plan has said. Someone write it down. We'll figure out what it means later.
I feel like a new religion is starting, and that's...
I'm ready. I've been looking for something.
Yeah. Direction would be nice.
I have all this time on my hands and...
I did think about that the other day, because I was wondering, like, if I were to get a real job, because I've been doing this for so long, and sort of just, I used to, like, I managed a video store, right? And does anybody know what a video store is at this point? I do think, what would have happened if I would have stayed climbing the corporate ladder of Hollywood video? I probably could have been somewhere. Like, what is my skill set? And the only thing I could think of, like, the only legitimate job I could get is I think I could start a cult. Like, that is the only thing that would translate to what I have.
Yeah, I gotta say, I after watching you all week, I think you really could. I think you could start I found the whole thing very positive and uplifting, and I'm kind of sad you're leaving tomorrow. So if you start a cult, just give me a call, is what I'm saying. Just give me a ring. If I can wear a robe, I'm in.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah. You have to do robes and masks and
loose
and all
garments
that,
because it's comfortable.
What role would Meatloaf play in this cult?
Well, Meatloaf, obviously, your loaves of meat that you give to
Right.
as your sermons. He just made one loaf, but he fed 40 people. It was a miracle.
So you're a big fan of Halloween. We've been talking about this all week.
Oh, yeah. Because I grew up Mormon, and me and my best friend down the street, Dean Krismowski, we were just seduced by Halloween, just the forbiddenness
Right.
of it. And we would do haunted houses in his basement, like, every day. And there was a rule. Our parents were like, you know what? You can't do haunted houses on Christmas and Easter. Like, and otherwise, like, because those are God's days.
Right.
But for us, and we had a little statue in our basement, in his basement, that we called Schmuck, the Terror Wizard. And he had this big forehead and weird ears and was carrying this strange staff. And,
Yeah.
and we would always be like, welcome to Schmuck's Dungeon of Doom. And we would
This is really scary
We would
already.
make the little kids come through, and they would have to pay us in candy. Like, they'd even want, like, oh, the big kids are making us go into the basement. So, but we worked a lot. Like, we figured out, it was a more innocent time where that sort of thing happened.
Yeah.
You had a kid, you gave him a dirt bike, and you're like, oh, go out there. It's going to be great. If you come back, that's fine. There's also a surplus of kids in Utah, so people were okay.
Kids to spare.
But then it turns out, like, later on, when I was in high school, I realized that like, statue was actually a statue of Confucius that we had bought at a garage sale. They were like, oh, but... So when I started seeing it, I'm like, oh, that's my terror wizard. So,
It's Schmuck.
yeah.
There's something there. There really is.
Schmuck. We didn't know it was an insult. It just, we wanted a scary sound.
Well,
It
yeah,
just-
a lot of Mormon kids don't know a lot of Yiddish, so that's what I found.
Yeah.
It's not very
pretty
familiar.
bad at Yiddish. There's actually only two things, like, even like when they grow up, like, it's just, Teenagers have some skills, though. They get a little more sophisticated.
Yep, that's true.
And Mormon teenagers are good at two things, and that's dry humping. So, you know.
That's fantastic. Well, let's do something before we get out of here. You were telling us earlier that you had some nightmares, and let's get spooky. Let's get Halloweenie.
Oh, I love my nightmares. I have some
I'm-
real great
I'm
ones.
fascinated to what's going on.
Okay, so I have reoccurring nightmares a lot, and they're super fun. And I once I had this dream, and it shows up sometimes, where the moon wakes up, right? Like it's been out there, and it wakes up, and it gets real hungry. So it starts coming to Earth to eat us. And of course, then you have like earthquakes and floods, and everything's getting fucked up. And so then all the world governments figure out what we need to do is just feed it. And so we round up all the people that we don't want, the government, you know. So, you know, the poors and the artists and the children and the olds. And, you know, we fill them up with the rockets and then feed them to the moon.
This is a reoccurring dream.
And
you
the
have?
moon would be satiated and move back, and everything would go back to normal. The thing is, I never was put on that rocket. I was always there, but that was almost a worse fate, because here you are, like you may not be drowning in the flood, but you're drowning in the consequence that you are one of the evil ones. So that's a dream I have. Sometimes, you know, and you look up, and that's fantastic, though. You have a dream like that, and you wake up and you're like, oh, the moon's not alive. But I also have a dream sometimes that there's cake in the fridge, and then I wake up and there is no cake in the fridge. That is bullshit. That's like horrifying. Or you have dreams that you you're doing your taxes, or you're sending out the emails you're supposed to send, you know, and you wake up and you have to do those goddamn things in the real world, you know? Like, so anytime I have a dream where my friend's eyes turn into blood, you know, I ride that nightmare, because it's a joy. And I wake up, and then I look at your beautiful eyes, and I'm like, oh, this is the true dream.
Well, I think we'd be remiss if we didn't ask you to you know, show everybody a little bit of your act, do some stand-up.
Oh, I'm not interested in doing that. You know, I had 6 great shows, you know, and I think I was pretty perfect every time, extremely hilarious. But I did bring a friend who has performed on the stage, who would be interested in performing for you folks if you are interested. So.
What do you think?
Okay, well, I guess I'll go get him. Yeah, so I met this guy a few years ago, like 5 years ago, when I was doing a New Works Festival in Portland, Oregon, and it was supposed to be just 4 nights of crazy fun, but he's then since become part of my life, and he's taught me a lot, because I believe that we are all born with a hole in our heart and a key in our hand. And when we put those two things together, we open up the participantry. And that is where this gentleman lives. And I don't really want to say much about him. I think he does what's really... He introduced me to edutainment, which is, I mean, it's funny and insightful, but also you learn a lot and become a better person. So please, everybody, open your hearts for Sugar Plum Gary.
Sugar plum, sugar plum.
Sugar plum, sugar plum, sugar plum, sugar plum, sugar plum, sugar plum.
Hi, guys. It is such a delight to be here in Boise on this special night. It's always nice to do a holiday-themed show. I always love doing Christmas shows because there's not a lot of people will have a show on Christmas. Most people are indoors celebrating. So just Merry Christmas. How's your Christmas? Fine. How's your Christmas? Merry. How's your Christmas? Oh, wonderful. Some people, when I ask them how their Christmas are, they'll say, "Hey, Shug." That's what my friends call me. They'll say, "You're aware that it's not Christmas, aren't you?" And I'll say, "It is to me." Because Christmas is in my heart. And my heart is in my body. And if my heart wasn't in my body, I'd die. I used to not believe in Christmas. Back at the Rankin Bass Home for Unfortunate Children, the orphanage where I grew up, I thought that Santa was just a lie that only rich kids could afford to believe in. But then, one magical Christmas Eve, Santa came to visit, and I was the only survivor. And that's when I learned that the magic of Christmas is real and ancient and as deep as the space between the stars. And that's when I stopped being just Gary and I found my Christmas name, Sugar Plum, based on all the visions that now dance in my head. Now I wander the world and this talk show, learning and sharing about Christmas. So, does anybody have a question about Christmas? Yes.
Do you know about Krampus?
Krampus?
Yes.
You mean some sort of guy, some bearded, angry thing that takes the wicked and drags them into a place of coal. Just you're talking about a horned entity that punishes the wicked, a cruel thing that is directed to do this by an unjust God. No. Does anybody have a question about Christmas? Yes.
What are your thoughts on the war on Christmas?
What are my thoughts on the war on Christmas? Are you familiar with the concept of the beach? It is a place where land meets sea. I highly recommend you check it out because this thing happens called the tide. The tide will go out and you will have all this beautiful wet sand and you can make a sand castle out of it and have a great day. But then that tide will come back in again and then it will go out and that sand castle will be gone. Do you think that the ocean cared about the sandcastle's war on the ocean? Does anybody have a question about Christmas? Anybody? Okay, let's see. Yes.
Why are red and green associated with Christmas?
Okay, why are red and green associated with Christmas? Well, I believe that Santa's name, one of his many names, is Roy G. Biv. And he encompasses the whole spectrum. But I see that you have fallen into a lot of the propaganda that the government and the soda corporations have foisted upon you. Because there are some misconceptions into what Santa looks like. And I'll tell you this, Santa actually starts the night in a white suit. I think I have time for one more question. Yes.
Was it a gift that you were the only one left, or did you actually really die?
Was it a gift that I am here and they are gone? That everyone I ever knew is no longer around? Was that a gift? I have time for one more question. I think I have time for just one more question about Christmas. Yes.
Do you feel the day coming when the trees will use men as decoration?
Oh, you're asking about the Christmas tree. And yes, there is but one true tree, and its branches scrape the heavens, and its roots go back through time, and we are all just ornaments impaled on its needles. I think I have time for one more question. Yes.
What does elf lodging look like?
Oh, you're asking about the elves. I have never seen the elves, but I have seen their shadows. And their shadows have seen us. And I don't think that they are happy. And sometimes I dream of a great pit of bones. But the bones in that pit, if assembled, would make skeletons that would not fit inside things shaped like you and I know. They would be something different altogether. But I think that something happened to the elves. And I think that Santa is hiring again. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Sugar plum candy, everybody! Oh my God.
That was the best thing I've ever
That
seen.
was amazing. That's all the time we have tonight. Once again, I want to thank HomeGrown Theatre. Everybody let him hear it. Emmett Montgomery, everybody. Our house band, Rich Kilfoyle, Ghost Revolver. Let him hear it. Chris Sundberg, The Plant. Chance Ward filming everything. Thank you so much. And of course, our stage manager, the wonderful Ashley Ann Howell. Thank you very much for everything you do for us. This is Boise Banter. Dustin Chalfo, Sophie Hughes. Thank you so much.
Happy Halloween!
Happy Halloween!